Welcome to the Young and the Wrestlers. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside...
Me!
The Mullet!
I'm one of the hosts too.
You listen to us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to facebook.com/popculturist, Discord channel, Twitter. Links are in the description below. Come talk wrestling.
Sounds like a plan.
It's a good idea.
That's why I'm here.
If you want to talk wrestling live as it happens,
Whoa.
head over to patreon.com/thepopculturist, where at any dollar value you get yourself a nice little sneaky link to come watch us record this live. We stream this mother liquor out to the internet, and then you feast in the licking and you have a chat with us. But if you want to support us in more once-off fashion, head over to popculturist.com/shop. You can buy shirts like this and other assorted shit with our logos on it.
You can feast in the licking because we're not tricking.
That's right. Blah, blah.
There's a shirt for you.
Ooh, I'll reach out to James. And we are also on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepopculturists. And as you can still see, still not Jem. If you watch the SummerSlam episode, Jem's still not around.
She's not.
Jem's off sick. Well, actually, right now she's off on a Macca's run.
God bless her. She's not coming here though.
No, she's just going on a Macca's run in her neck of the woods, which is not helpful for us.
And she thought, you know what would make this Macca's run better? Let's tell everyone first that I'm going to get Macca's for myself. And then not share. Delightful.
Now, because we're running late today, because I didn't explain this. So, for my job, I had to do CPR training. They're like, hey, guess what? Your training's at 3:30 and it goes until 5. I'm like, that's fine. I finish at 4:30 anyway. Not a massive delay.
Not really.
5:45. I get out of there. And because my bit of paper says 3:30 to 5.
That's it.
And as I leave and I finish my test and I pass it because I'm not an idiot, I hand it in and then the guy's like, yeah, cool, fine. Go downstairs, hand it to the receptionist. I'm like, cool, no worries. She's like, out already? I'm like, what the fuck? I was supposed to finish 45 minutes ago. What are you talking about? She's like, I thought you guys would have been there till like 6:30. I'm like, fuck you if I was still here to 6:30. He
actually said that to her. She was crying when he left. It was sad.
Yeah. But thankfully, yeah. So then I went and got food on the way home for everybody. I stubbed myself with a pen in the boob. And my sore boob too. Came, bought the food for everybody. We ate the food. We catch up on the last little part of Raw. We sped through SmackDown. So this is a very vague show. So this one's not going to be, the coherent that we've seen with the likes of Jem.
Yeah, coherence. That's what the pop culturists are known for.
That's what Young and the Wrestling is. It's coherence. So we're just there's a lot of skimmage this week.
Skimmage.
And it's more about the big beats and what it could be leading up to.
Yeah.
Because normally we deep dive, and it's a part of the deep dive is Jem. Jem's a big the diviness. Today we're breaking the rules. And that means we're trying to break rules about like our own internal kayfabe too. This is the fourth wall breaking episode.
Okay.
Because normally we engulf the kayfabe. We live within the kayfabe.
I like the kayfabe.
This week we're breaking the kayfabe. Because it's way more fun that way.
Okay.
Raw! Still in Toronto. Because SummerSlam was in Toronto. Starts off with a big old promo. He comes out to the crowd and be like, I got the belt. And I couldn't have done it without you. And the crowd were like, you couldn't have. We totally helped you, Seth. Woo! No one did that.
Word for word.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how it went down. But that's what he's talking about. Look, he goes, I got my ass handed. Apparently he's all like something now. Got my ass handed to me. And I was like, ooh, how am I going to do this? I've given everything I can give. Oh, whatever. And the crowd was like, you can do it, Seth. We love you. And so I was like, you know what?
We love you, Seth.
I can do it. Like, I can do it, Seth. And then you got the energy to like kick Brock's face.
Yeah, well, why not?
That's pretty much all it was. Just a big old big classic baby face.
Yeah, just come out and try to get the pop right at the start.
Yeah.
Carry the momentum over from the day before. But
he looked very business cash. That was nice.
I find it hard to get behind Rollins. I don't know why. I just find him a little vanilla.
Racist.
Not because he's white. Because he's bland.
Oh, but vanilla's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, it's sweet.
What is an actual bland food?
Hummus.
What kind of doesn't hummus have some flavour to it?
When you add garlic, yeah, sure. Have you had a chickpea before?
He's a garlicless hummus.
A garlicless hummus. That's a deadly insult in some countries.
Yeah. Holy shit. Poor Seth Rollins.
Well, I don't like it, but lots of people clearly do.
Yeah, as I said in the SummerSlam show, I still don't understand like the story they were going for with him. Sort of. Can you stop playing WWE Universe on your phone?
I'm trying to turn it off, and each time I try to turn it off, I accidentally get more gold. Shut up.
Stop it!
Leave me alone.
You're distracting me. You're distracting yourself.
Shut up, Dad. You're not the boss of me.
Get off your phone, you goddamn, I don't know, pre-millennial.
I'm so pre-millennial.
First millennial. Yo, fuck.
I'm potentially a baby boomer.
You are a boomer.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm Gen X.
I think you're just Gen X.
Just.
Yeah.
Only just.
Yeah, so, and then while this is all going down, the OC comes in and they're all like, California! No, they weren't.
Which is ironic, being in Toronto.
Yeah, it's real weird.
Weird.
But no, they came in and they were just like, you know, I'm AJ Styles. I want to fight you. And Seth was like, well, I want to fight you too.
Or what?
I was like, all right, we're going to have a fight later. And they're like, all right, let's have a fight later. And then the OC, like, the Good Brothers just teased Dean. Dean. What right, Dean? They just, what the hell? Oh, they teased a beatdown. They were like, you want to go? Huh? Oh, you want to go? And he's like, oh, I want to go. I want to go later. He's like, you want to go now, though? He's like, no, I want to go later.
The usual sort of pre-show rant.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Cuts to the Street Profits. There's Montez, who's the one with the crown, and there's the other guy, and he's all like, sleeping. Big night the night before. Yeah, he's all super hungover from the SummerSlam party. During this all big conversation, Sami Zayn comes out and was like, why are you guys all up on this shit? You're sitting here hyping the show up. You understand that there comes a time where, you know, the universe is going to turn against you.
If anyone would know that, Sami Zayn would.
Yeah, the universe will break you. Like, yeah, they'll critique, and they'll be shit, and they'll suddenly won't like you, and therefore you're done. You're done.
Yep. And then?
And he's like, who else has sort of been, something like universe of mistreats? Samoa Joe, you piece of shit. You were someone that you lost all your teeth. You ain't a monster. You're a baby. He's like, none of this is actually correct what he said. I'm just trying to make that fucking and then Samoa Joe, he's like, is Samoa Joe right behind me? He's like, Samoa Joe's right behind you.
Of course he was.
Samoa Joe's like, I'll go kick your ass.
And he did.
He's like, I'll show you that I'm no longer a baby, that I'm still the monster. I'm Samoan Joseph. Samoan Joseph. I want to take this to the ring. And Samuel Zayn
just, he keeps losing and losing quickly.
Yeah.
He's just, hasn't he been punished enough, WWE?
All jokes aside, like, what the fuck is they doing with Sami Zayn?
Because he had a chance. He was going the route Kevin Owens was going. He was getting the crowd behind him. He was talking about us versus the company.
Yeah, and he had this, like, he started this sort of a little bit Daniel Bryan-y sort of, the crowd is stupid for the following reasons. And it's almost similar to Daniel Bryan pre-WrestleMania. Like, his arguments were very valid. It was all like the environment and all genuine reasons. So he looked like an arsehole because he was kind of right. And Sami Zayn is having the same approach, as in he's delivering reasons of why everyone's shit that are kind of right.
Yeah, exactly. So blurring the kayfabe lines.
Yeah,
there.
which is rad.
And then obviously they decided to punish him and continue to punish him. And he has lost, I think now, is he 8 now?
8 appearances.
8 appearances since his return. Where if he was in a tag, he was the one who got pinned. He always gets pinned early, quickly. And clean. And it's never any, it's always he lost. Never any doubt, never any controversy. So why is he there? They've got jobbers for that.
Yeah, and like what's interesting is whether this is a long-term feud, who knows? But Samoa Joe, who is someone that gets booked incredibly well in early of the feud, and then when the push comes to shove at the end, pun intended, he loses.
Yeah, never go anywhere
so
with it.
It's two people that have been incredibly mishandled.
Yeah,
and I don't know why.
It's like having a precision power drill and using it as a hammer. It does the job, but it's not what it's there for.
No, you know what it is? It's having the drilling going, yeah, it works. Dum, dum, dum. Yes. But you know that the drill works.
Yeah, so rather than using the drill, you stand there and just spin around the table really quickly to try and drill down.
Stab whatever. Jesus Christ! You just stab whatever you're trying to drill.
That's it.
So this, of course, leads into a match between Joe and Sami Zayn. Joe wins about 14 points per second with a clutch.
Yep, and it was just done, out, gone, moving on.
This is the thing, like, Joe is booked, like, as I said, Joe is booked like such a fucking monster, like, all the time. And it really works.
Because I believe it.
Yeah, and then the run-up of that feud, you were like, Joe has to come out with the win here. Yeah. Like, he has to be the winner. It's so perfect. Losers.
Yep. Just
like, because it's one of those same things. Like, if we look at the example of prior to SummerSlam, I think it may have been, well, pay-per-view was Extreme Rules. Was Extreme Rules? Where it was like Samoa Joe versus Kofi.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Joe, because the way they set up Joe in general, he seems so gnarly that if he, in the same way that Randy Orton was, if Kofi was to lose to either Randy or Joe, he would still come out looking okay.
Yeah.
Because these guys are fucking gnarly.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing to have lost to them if you put up, as long as it's a good match and it sets it up for you to try and come back. You've got your return fight. So
well, yeah, and it's that thing of like, well, you lost because these guys are just rad. Like they fight a fight that you don't. Like Kofi isn't the guy that's willing to go dirty. Joe is. Randy is. And so although you lost because they play a different game. Their storytelling right there. Kofi has to step up and change how he plays.
Step up his game. That's again, and you've got months out of that.
It's literally the story that they've told with Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. Like Gargano, in the takeover match with the three falls, he chairs Adam Cole. We'll talk about in the SummerSlam episode. Gargano of like when they had their first match up, probably wouldn't have done that. But now, where they're at now is fits. It fits in that growth.
Apparently, she's
she's Uber Eats.
Jem is mailing our nugs.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Jem.
Uber Eats thing, or she's just, or is that the name of her mouth?
The post.
Yeah.
She refers to her mouth as the post.
Oh, sure.
Why? Because she always delivers.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Jem is the mailman.
Person. I forget my rant was going now. Oh yeah, Samoa Joe being booked poorly.
Yes.
Winning poorly, I guess.
But that's always a rant. That's been a rant for years. Samoa Joe has never been utilised successfully or well by the WWE. He was fantastic in his days at TNA.
You've watched a lot of TNA stuff with him, yeah?
Oh, some of his early matches with AJ, beardless AJ, back in the day, was tremendous. And
oh my dear God!
What?
Unrelated to almost anything, but there is a purple DualShock on the way. Paul James just tagged me in it.
It's
and not the custom, but oh my God, electric purple. I need to buy about 14 of them. My bad.
He's gonna be touching himself this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
More than usual.
Well, obviously.
Jem confirms Joe was solid in TNA.
He was fantastic in TNA. He kicked ass. He dominated. He was at the top of the game. They utilised him well. They wrote well for him. They let him do his shit. Just, you wonder what they're doing.
Next up was the scheduled match between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, because as we mentioned in the fine print of the contract he signed for SummerSlam was that, no, I'm agreeing to a match with The Miz on the Raw after SummerSlam. You have to fight Goldberg. So Zig comes out in street clothes and he's like, I'm unable to wrestle.
I can't be medically cleared.
I'm not medically cleared. I got my ass handed to me by the Goldbergs. I can't do it.
No.
I'm just like, what's on about, man?
Yeah.
What are you
doing? Miz, by the way, I thought handled his whole bit there well. So there was some good raised eyebrows. I think Miz was doing well in that part. But yeah, so the usual sort of thing. He's come out. I can't wrestle. Waits for the moment where he turns his back and then jumps him. Usual sort of Dolph Ziggler maneuver. And then again, as predictably, eventually gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, so that initiates the match, which is just standard bussing. It does end with the Miz getting the pin, and the win, I believe. And let me double check my notes. Yes. And then, so as he's down and out, Miz is like walking away and he's like, it was barely a flesh wound.
Grabs them, flesh wound. Nice
you're not even the best wrestler in your family. That's Maurice, you piece of shit.
That's right.
And Miz turns around, walks in, and as he's getting up, he's like, you know what? I'm fine. I'm the man. I'm really good at skull crushing finale.
Yep, and then there was a lot of this. My favourite part, he's done the skull crushing finale, he's lying down, then the Miz just leans over and goes, sorry? What was that? What was that? I did get a giggle out of that moment, so that was nice.
So we should mention, it was win to a figure four. So Miz came in the figure four, and Dolph. It was almost a figure eight. There was a little bit of bridge going on. Not a lot, but
there was some thrusting.
Yeah, there was some Miz crutch
of the pelvic region.
Then we get a backstage promo from the Becky Lynch, the Steel Champion. Talking about the idea of I had a thing with Natalya and I beat her face in and I won. So hey, all the other women's that are out and about in the WWE, why don't you come and bust me? I'll bust your head back.
Yeah, basically she said, if you shit me, I'm gonna shit you.
Yeah, I got fight.
Yep. And I do notice that one thing they have done, they did it for a couple of weeks, and they've obviously WWE has decided not to do it, and that's to stop getting Becky and Seth Rollins doing promos together.
Yeah.
Yes, we know they're in a relationship. They don't bounce well off each other in doing the promos.
I think
let them do their own shit.
That seemed like entirely built around the idea of the mixed tag with Baron and Lacey,
which was awful.
It was a good way to piss them both off at the same time.
I suppose it was still awful though.
Yeah, it wasn't Bran. But yeah, she was like, I'm gonna punch all you in the face.
Yes, but you sort of believe her.
And I was like, yeah, I think she will punch him in the face. Yeah, sure. Next, we got Elias sitting in the ring with his guitar, and he's like, look, I know how this works. I've been around these parts for a while, and what that means is I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to try strum my guitar, and then some superstar's going to come out and interrupt me. So you know what? Let's skip all the bullshit. I'm going to count to 3. You want to count with me, and someone will come out. 1, 2, 3.
Nothing.
Maybe not. Let's give it another bell. 1, 2, 3.
Nothing again.
Holy shit. Maybe I'll be able to actually sing a song by myself. Alright. Ready to... Ricochet.
Ireland's favourite son. Coming out to... I'm enjoying...
Shamrock Son.
I'm enjoying what he's doing at the moment, actually.
Yeah, Ricochet comes out and there's a bit of a Dawson up, yeah.
There's some Dawson happening. If they play him right, Ricochet's got a lot. They can do a long burn. They can do a lot with him. They've just got to let him do stuff through to fruition.
Yeah, the big rumor mill is that Paul Heyman's a big fan, so obviously he wants to do a lot with him. But it's that situation of he needs to kind of get himself away from AJ Styles and the OC, because in order to keep the faction of the OC being strong, they need to keep all those belts. Yeah. So it's one of the. I think that him working with Elias is going to improve him? Hell no, because that's like a couple of steps down of the rung, if anything. Like Ricochet, in terms of a good feud, it's not Elias.
Well, where would you direct him then?
I don't know if I can anyone else.
Anyone else? Okay, Lacey Evans.
Sure.
I don't know what will you do with Ricochet unless you take him down to get him with another high flyer so they can really show off what he can do. Or
it's or maybe someone's a bit bigger, someone's a bit more ground in the same way that the likes of who am I thinking of? Like the Viking Raiders, even though they've got one. The Viking Raiders.
Screw it, Aleister Black, go for it.
Well, they've done that before. Let's do it again.
Yeah, true.
That worked well. Let's just do it again. See, I don't know, because it's that weird situation of who do you pair him with? Who do you verse him against? It's tough. And the honest answer is, I can't remember who is on Raw. Because
true.
The wildcard has really fucked with my memory.
That's true. Well, because everyone's on everything now.
Because I'm positive Elias is SmackDown.
I want to say he's SmackDown, but I don't know.
Because, he was the greatest acquisition, wasn't he?
I think so, yeah. I think he will. I don't know. I'd have to check the roster.
That's the point. I don't remember. I was under the impression that I may have made this up myself, that SmackDown was supposed to... Shut up! Shut up, Kurt, I'm trying to talk. I was under the impression that SmackDown was the last, like, the reset button. The wild card rule would be done.
Yeah. Elias is SmackDown.
But it's still happening. Now, I don't remember when this happens in the show, but then they announced there's going to be a King of the Ring tournament next week.
Yep.
Now, part of that is like 8 from Raw, 8 from SmackDown, but also, does it fucking even matter? Because the King of the... Like, what they're doing here is they're just dressing up the wild card rule in a different thing.
True, but just came to me, what would be awesome if you wanted to give Ricochet a push without giving him a belt? Make him King of the Ring.
Yes, but unless they decide the King of the Ring winner actually has a shot at a belt. Like, the only way, because it's like, how do you, if they want to push Ricochet ahead of the United States Championship, but they can't have him win it over AJ, just give him it's almost like a Money in the Bank.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It depends what they're going to do, because they're not doing it as a pay-per-view this time around. It's going to be on the show during the week, over the 2 days, yeah?
No, we don't know. We don't know whether it's 2 weeks, whether it's 3 weeks.
No, I mean over the Raw to SmackDown.
Yeah, it is over both shows. I don't know where they're going with it or how long it's going to be.
It's usually a knockout tournament style, I think. So
look, I think I would like to think it's WWE going to try to do their own G1 climax, like the New Japan big tournament they got going on right now. That would be very, very cool. But I also know that I remember hearing that Vince fucking hates tournaments.
Yeah, he's a wrestling promoter. Yeah, go figure.
So I don't know where they're going with that. But anyway, Ricochet does get the win on the Elias with a sunset flip. A sunset flip?
Yeah, it looked a little bit like a sunset flip that turned into a surprise roll-up.
And then Elias kind of pops his shoulder at the last minute, and it's like bing, bing, bing. Apparently, this was a bit of a botch. He wasn't supposed to have his shoulders up, or the match was supposed to go a little bit different. I'm not too sure. But Killer says, wait for Brock to show up at Clash of Champions and pin both participants to become King of the Ring again.
Do not get me started on Lesnar. I'm so over him now.
Well, that makes sense. It's like, 4 weeks of shows and then King of the Ring? So it's a tournament to King of the Ring with 8. So 16 wrestlers. That's 2 matches. That's 8 matches.
Yeah, 8 matches.
2 matches a
then
week.
4, then 2.
Yeah, so 2 matches a week brings it up to... Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah, the math checks out.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, look, it'd be interesting. I don't want it to happen, but if you could replace Brock with someone else, that'd be cool.
There needs to be a reason for the win, though. Now, my understanding could be wrong here. My understanding of the King of the Ring, you just got a hokey-ass fucking hat, and you got a scepter and a cape.
Yeah, like some people took it around with, like, Booker T was King Booker for the longest time.
And King Barrett was, remember that? I mean, I've been watching SummerSlam from like 6 years ago, where it was like King Barrett and Stardust versus Neville and Stephen Amell.
Neville. Yes, that's right. Stephen Amell. I mean, Arrow had a run as a wrestler, and honestly didn't do a bad job.
Yeah, he was also part of the indie stuff too, so do you reckon he'll shop it all out? Who knows?
That would be cool. Well, Arrow's finished up now.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Well, once they do the last little Crisis on Infinite Earths, they're doing. Exactly. Yes. Sorry, my other nerd flag was flying there. I'll just push it over there.
So they need to give something to this King of the Ring to make it valuable.
So what you're saying is, don't just make it a title, make it mean something or be useful for something.
If you become King of the Ring, you also get this cheap gimmicky shit, but you also get a shot at a mid card belt. It's not a Money in the Bank.
No, but you can maybe pick a title shot against one of the mid card belts.
You know what? So fine. In that case, I want to take on for the United States.
Yeah, that could work.
Because it can't equal the same as the Money in the Bank. Simple as that.
I'm waiting for Stephen Amell to be confirmed for All Out.
He was it All In?
He was it All In. That's very true.
I did say that. But,
that's yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, because they're buds.
Yeah, why not?
Could happen. But yeah, they got to do something with it. I don't know what it's going to be, but they'll probably do absolutely nothing. I'm trying to think who's in it. So if I remember right now, Killer, you may have to come in here and save the day. I know that. So this is the list as far as I can recall. Ali, Andrade, Cesaro, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens.
There'd be only 3 others.
Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Buddy Murphy.
I'd have to look it up. I can't remember.
I am really racking my brain trying to remember here. Feel free to pull it up if you can. There's a couple of people there that were just solely there to get losses. That's all they're going to be there for.
Oh yeah, well that happens every time. So.
I'll get into it in a sec. But before we jump into that, we'll get into the next match, which was the Andrade versus Rey Mysterio in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. Andrade won. Raw with Baron Corbin, of course. Baron Corbin, Cesaro, Cedric Alexander, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, and The Miz.
So Ricochet is in it.
Yes. Now we should also mention that Ricochet's handle on Twitter is King Ricochet.
That's very true.
SmackDown's Ali, Andrade, Apollo Crews, Buddy Murphy, Chad Gable, Elias, Kevin Owens, and Shelton Benjamin.
Sorry, WWE 24/7 champion Elias.
Sorry to clarify. We'll get to that in a minute. So Andrade wins in about 2 straight falls to. Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute. So then there's a Skype interview from Michael Cole with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he's there to be like, you know who's really cool? Seth Rollins.
He's cute.
They were like, back in my day when I was Stone Cold Steve Austin, I always thought, why couldn't I be like Seth Rollins?
Which, of course, he was there to promote his own show, so a bit of cross-promotion happening there as well.
Yeah, after Raw, there was his show, but, he literally said a sentence about, he's like, oh, yeah, I have a show. But you know who'd be really good for that show? Seth Rollins. You know what? If you weren't a Seth Rollins guy right now, Stone Cold Steve Austin says, you should like Seth Rollins, and now it's the bottom line. And because Stone Cold said so. That's pretty much what he did. He's just like, I'm going to jerk Seth Rollins' peen for a little bit.
Pretty much.
For some reason.
There was some peen jerking.
Because, as you said, you are just bland on Seth Rollins, and almost everybody else is. Because at SummerSlam, Bret Hart walks out and be like, hey, Seth Rollins, everyone should like him.
Pretty much. Although...
So rather than just, let it be earned, everyone, he has to get old people to be like, this guy, he's the person.
I mean, that they should be using the legends to put over the new crop. That's what they've always done in the past, traditionally. Sometimes when somebody's outgoing or they're going to be retiring soon, they put over one of the new guys. And we can do that at the moment. It's I don't know what. The only one who's really been doing it right is Mick Foley. He was helping getting the Fiend over. Because, of course, he got the mandible claw during the Legends.
Finisher.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, it was kind of like a handing over of the finisher, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. I hadn't even considered that. You're absolutely right. Because, of course, that mandible claw was Mankind and Mick Foley's go-to move for years.
Soccer.
Except when he was Dude Love. But that was a whole other story. And Cactus Jack. He's been a lot of people.
Next up, after this horrible thing with Seth Rollins, we cut to Ray out the back, and there's an interview with him. They're like, "Hey, you're getting your ass kicked a lot by Andrade. What's the deal?"
Yeah, basically, he said, "You suck now. What's up?"
Yeah, and he's like, "I don't know where my career is going. I'm just here." He's essentially saying, "I'm just here because I need to support my family." And what about them? And he's like, "Just."
Well, although she's ill and full of macas, Jem has still got a comment there.
So Jem does. She goes, it broke my heart. Ray losing twice in a row and almost crying about disappointing his family. But it felt like a setup. I think we're seeing Dominic soon.
Maybe. Rey Mysterio Jr.
I think we are, my theory still stands with Andrade. Andrade has tried to demask Ray twice now.
Yeah.
So my prediction is we are going to see a mask versus a hair versus mascaras match, which is a hair versus mask match.
I figured that because mask is in the word mascaras.
Mascaras.
So it's not going to be a mask versus pants match. Then.
No. It was like, if you lose, you take pants off. Andrade, take pants off.
Yeah, you have to do a lap of the stadium.
Everyone's been real happy if Andrade takes his pants off. Just no one's gonna be sad. Jeff goes, I think Andrade is Dominic's puppy. Bring that story
Controversy, back. Holy crap.
He's like, hey, did you notice that Dominic's about as tall as Andrade?
Dun, dun, dun.
Papa. So I do think in the future, I can't say when, I don't know when, but I feel that we'll get a hair versus mask match, and that will be the retirement.
I haven't done one of those for a long time.
Because Andrade's going to...
Your mate Killer has a better theory. Dominic's puppy is actually Eddie Guerrero.
We know that. That was the old story. Haven't you ever heard? Did you remember that?
I didn't catch the end of that.
Okay,
that
yeah,
storyline.
so, there was the briefcase. Like Money in the Bank match essentially, but it was a briefcase with the custody papers for Dominic.
Custody or the paternity papers?
Huh?
You mean the paternity ones?
Yeah.
To show who his father was.
No, I thought it was the custody papers, but maybe either way, it was like they had to like bust each other to find out who to claim ownership of the child
in the traditional manner.
You know, as is tradition. Yeah.
As it is written.
What's this thing? Like, we've already had this match a decade ago, says Killer, and yet we're still seeing wrestlers from a decade ago.
More than that.
I mean, like, bringing out the Goldbergs, they're bringing out the Trish. We just had the Raw reunion where they wheeled out some old fuck who took a knee in the dick from Kelly.
Basically, yeah, it was a bit like all I could think of was Rod Stewart in the South Park concert. The whole wrestler just off he goes.
That's pretty much what happened, though. Like, hey, it's Sergeant Slaughter.
Pretty much.
Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam. Yeah, I love that. Maybe it could come up again. You don't know. They've done mask versus mask. They've done hair versus hair. God, Vince and Trump did hair versus hair. I believe Trump got shaved.
Vince
got shaved. Yeah. Trump wasn't getting shaved. What am I talking about?
So that's where I think it would be a good way to go, just to sort of, and that would be, Ray's like, look, if I lose this, I remove my mask, and that that ends him. Because Rey Mysterio is that mask. His entire marketing is that mask.
That's true.
If he doesn't have that mask, then who is he? And then like a couple of weeks later,
he's Dominic's puppy.
The mask returns, and it's Dominic.
That works. That works for me.
Passes the mask down.
That's it. I don't know. That could happen.
Yeah, and Dominic walks out and is like, "Who's your puppy?" And then fucking plows Andrade ringside.
Oh, please let me say, "Who's your puppy?" Who is your puppy, and what does he do?
Killer says, wasn't that take a... So WWE's bringing out old storylines so we can see that match all over again. We could.
Yeah.
As I said, we're supposed to be a quick show. We're like 40 minutes in. We've done like barely half the show. Drew McIntyre, something about wanting to murder Cedric Alexander.
He wants to murder everybody now.
Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander. Buzz, Claymore kick wins to Drew.
Pretty much the whole match?
Yeah. I think Drew McIntyre has a chance with the King of the Ring.
He's another one.
Because he looks like someone, you put a crown on him, he's going to look pretty sweet.
Drew McIntyre, for me, is in exactly the same boat as Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
He could be fantastic, and they keep making him the lapdog of other people and just not giving him a chance to do his thing. Yeah. Can you imagine him in a title fight against, I don't know, Randy Orton? Pretty cute. That'd be awesome. And he could do it too, but they won't let him do his thing. Let them have a go. Let them play. Let them wrestle.
Next up, we get a promo from the OC. AJ sitting there be like, you know what? How many times have we seen Seth fight that other guy? You know, the Brock Lesnar's. How many times did they fight each other? And then Good Brothers are like, well, we've seen it all the time. We've seen it a lot. It's like, we have seen it a lot. But you know what? You know how many times I fought Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship? A whole bunch of once. Oh, wait, that's not right. You know how many times I fought for the Universal Championship? A whole once. I wouldn't know to go at it because my man Drew Stars. And this is the house that Drew Stars built. And I am the man.
There'll be subtitles later.
There won't be. It's all incoherent at this point. And they're like, yeah, maybe you should go for it. He's like, when I fight at the end tonight, when I fight Seth Rollins, that means that I'm going to get a shot at the Universal Championship because I said so. Because I am Billy Ray Cyrus.
Pretty much, yeah, it was just incoherent.
I'm sure those words, we just vaguely paid attention. Yeah. Next up, for some reason, Robert Roode versus No Way Jose.
Yeah, that was a real sort of just a solid mid-card bout, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good right in the middle of the show.
And it was actually a good bout. They both got in there. They got stuck in. There were some good moves back and forth.
Like, you know how it's going to go. Because no way Jose is no way he's winning.
He's not beaten Glorious.
Yeah, so it did end with a glorious DDT from Robert Roode.
Which he does deliver well. And, of course, we got to hear the theme song again. God, I love that.
It is glorious.
It is. It is glorious. And it is glorious.
Next, we get a brilliant promo from Paul Heyman. So Charlie walks up. She's like, so Paul, like, you know, now that the university's like, hey Charlie, beautiful.
Yeah, Paul Heyman just being Paul Heyman.
Yeah, so it's like, what I've justified myself to you. I have the scoop here. Who do you think you are? Some sort of like sport journo bullshit. I got the, you know, it's essentially just being I'm the man. It was fine because he was implying that he was at Brock Lesnar's dressing room.
Yep,
he was not. Brock Lesnar was nowhere to be seen.
No, but his name was stuck on the door, so
I'm pretty sure that may have been a storage cupboard.
Maybe.
Just Brock. The room's not very big. Just Brock is like,
It's probably a toilet.
Yeah, he's pooping.
What's wrong with you? Oh, I'm going to go have a Brock. Hang on. Just dropping off a couple of Brocks at the pool.
Next up, once again, oddly enough, Lucha House Party.
Yeah.
Versus the Revival.
The Revival, speaking of people who, the wildcard rule, they were on Raw and SmackDown this week.
They were, but they're Raw peeps. And they're people that have also like had a run and then not. Yeah, they opened the door. Brock is actually a road case. There was just road cases in that cupboard. That's all that was in there. So it made it look like it wasn't a storage cupboard.
That's probably his house.
They put Brock in there. Like, you saw the photo. Well done, Jem. What's this?
I don't know.
Context.
We will look later.
Yeah, so during this bout between the LHP and the Revival, in comes the 24/7 championship little hoe.
Oh, yes. I am enjoying everything R-Truth does. He's just, everything he touches is gold. He's one of the saving graces of that company. And yeah, so the 24/7 championship erupted around this match, and then they all got involved. And then one glorious thing happened for the Revival. For a moment, for a short time, they both became co-24/7 champions because they both pinned R-Truth. It was brilliant.
Yeah, so they had the belts
for about 8 seconds.
And then Dawson, was Scott Dawson? Yeah, Scott Dawson took the hit, line on the ground. Carmella comes in, lays Truth over him. Ding, ding, ding. Back to Truth. They fuck about the back.
They did. It was, well, I was about to say back to the status quo because it always seems to be whatever happens, by the end of the show, R-Truth leaves with the belt. Not this time.
No. Because as they get backstage, Truth will come out and be like, Drew's like, oh man, I'm so happy to be the 48-7, 21-8 divided by the square root of 9, 7-11 European champion.
That's what I mean. He's gold.
Then Elias comes out and just guitars him in the back.
Guitar.
1, 2, 3. Elias 24/7 champion.
That's it. And ran off with it.
Yep, pretty much. Next we get Natalya. She comes out in the ring to be like, hey Becky, you totes beat me. You beat me so good. And you know what beat my father? Death. 1 year ago.
Pretty much. Although, and I got to admit, again, I don't know whether it's a Canadian crowd at the moment, but Natalya comes out and she's talking about her dad.
Fucks.
They did not care. She's talking about Jim Neidhart, him and Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, as he was called back in the day. They were one of the best tag teams of the day. Beloved Canadian wrestlers. Crowd couldn't give two shits. They were chanting boring at one point. She was saying it's a year to the day that my father died.
Natalya is boring.
And they were going boring. And then they sort of went, oh, wait a minute. And we liked Jim Neidhart.
Yeah, and she's like,
yes.
You remember that time that Becky beat me? Everyone's like, boring. 1 year ago, my father died.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man, I remember him.
Well, now I feel bad.
Thanks for time. Made me feel bad.
That's it.
So she's like, yeah, a year ago, my father died.
And she was genuinely tearing up. So it's beautiful blurring a kayfabe again.
Dad, like, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
And next thing we hear, boss time.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks returns. She comes back in. Everyone just shits their pants. She comes out in the purple hair, doing the whole like thing. She's like, I had a dream that I made here. Comes in the ring and they're like, hey, it's Natalya. And then like, hey, Natalya, I'm Sasha Banks. We haven't seen each other in a while. Let's have a hug. They hug. She's like, oh my God, I really love what you've done with your hair. I'm like, I know, isn't it exactly the same? It's awesome. And she's like, look, if you kind of read her lips, she's like, your dad would be proud. You've done good, whatever. Yeah. So it looks like she walks over to get a mic to sort of add to this going, BAM! Sasha Banks knocks Natalya in the face, blows her out, pulls the wig off. She's like, oh my God, she had blue hair all along.
Oh no, not blue
That's
hair.
how you know she's bad. She's got a blue hair.
Well, Jem has some specific opinions she'd like to share.
I'm aware of her opinions, but for context.
Okay.
Sasha Banks proceeds to then beat the living fuck out of Natalya for a little while. And then Becky Lynch comes out, and then they bust her as well. There's a chair involved. Sasha's just wrecking chairs everywhere. Like, straight up hits Becky in the back of the head. Like, not even like kayfabe. She just straight up hits in the back of the head.
She did.
Just bust the crap out of him and be like, hey, who the fuck you, man? And then, boosh, and then she walks out of the ring. Walks out of the stadium.
That's it.
Jem comes in, she goes, okay, so fuck Sasha Banks. This bitch chucks a tantrum, has money literally thrown at her, continues tantrum, and then comes back as a heel and fucking goes over. No through for you. Come back 1 year. Pissed off with your blue hair and your bad attitude. And saying that, like, that has been the greatest thing. When she comes in, they're like, I think Mark Cole's been like, where has she been? And Corey Graves is like crying on Twitter. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, fuck yeah, Corey Graves, you know what's up. But I actually kind of do, like, and I've been yelling for like a minute, but like, I do totally agree. Like, I was one of those situations, like, I wanted Sasha Banks to return because I think she's automatically going to be in the main title picture, and we are running out of people.
They needed some people to.
They needed to bring someone
get into
back
that group,
up there,
yeah.
right?
So hence the reason she's
the heel
both of them.
The heel turn makes sense, and Sasha was such an over baby face. It's that situation of it's very very similar. It was very similar to when Becky turned on Charlotte back in the day. She was supposed to have a heel turn. If anything, it made her more popular than ever. And I think that's what they got here. Like, you know, Sasha's already over, and by her, it's one of those, the heart, you know, the time away makes the heart thing. It's like she comes back, everyone's like, oh my God, Sasha Banks, she's a heel. Sweet.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that they're having. Like, it's that weird line of like, yeah, Natalya's got that legacy. Yeah, her father is literally dead. But it didn't work. Like,
well, she sort of got over with the crowd, but
they should have.
Yeah.
Like, referencing the Heart Foundation in Canada, being sad about it and saying he dead.
Yeah, exactly.
That should have worked.
It didn't pop. The Canadian crowd were a bit funny this whole weekend. I don't know. Maybe there was something in the water. I don't know. But
maple syrup was tainted.
Oh, you don't want maple syrup in your taint?
No.
Especially after you've just been pierced.
The message just happened. Yeah.
We talked about that earlier. You miss all sorts of things when we're not recording. Yeah, not a lot of love in the chat there at the moment, is there?
Dash says Sash sucks.
Yep.
Jem goes, piss off, back to social media, keep posting your silky ass and cryptic tweets. There's so many more superstars more deserving than her. And I totally agree. And I do think part of the reason here is because of how over she is as a face. If she was to pack up and, you know, take her ball and go home and go to the likes of AEW, she would have no issue at all. She'd be fucking fine.
Yeah.
And that's the concern. The concern here is losing her.
But there is depth in the women's roster if they just give them a chance.
Yeah. Next, because I feel like I have fucking deja vu, the Viking Raiders versus some random fucks.
A couple of 16-year-olds it looked like.
Yeah, so they just bring out these Jobby McJobbisons who are supposed to just get their ass handed to them again. Fucking again, Craig.
Week after week. I know.
What the fuck?
What are they doing with them?
This?
I don't know. They show potential. They do a solid pay-per-view, and then they just rinse and repeat and do the same old crap again.
Like, this is like once again, I know this is my presumption. I'm filling in the blanks here, but like I really thought that SummerSlam was supposed to be the reset button, tidy up all these storylines and get something new.
Yeah.
Instead, we are literally getting the same shit. Like, if they're what they're trying to do with the Raiders is by constantly reminding us that they can mush people, is just so that you don't forget who they are.
They don't need to get over again. They were over when they got here.
They are.
Exactly.
This is like the 19th year that they have mushed people. Put them in a match with somebody. Have them win. Put them in a feud. This is the dumbest shit, and I'm frankly sick of fucking seeing it.
You want to give them the pop they deserve. Put them into a surprise match or one that people aren't taking seriously with the Usos, and all of a sudden, bang, they get the pin.
Yeah, get the Usos in and let them just wreck the Usos. Like, that is how it works. Like, I always bring up the examples of, like, AOP. Apparently, AOP are back. They're big fucking dudes. Get the Viking Raiders to fuck them up.
Yeah.
Like, AOP will not have the pop. When they came up from NXT, no one gave a fuck. And I guarantee you no one gives a fuck now. So have them come in, get bust. Viking Raiders look awesome because they wreck someone that you know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm repeating myself because this is the fifth week in a row I've had this conversation. Have them wreck people you know. Because it's like, although in whatever bumfuck independent scene these guys are from, they may be the number one peeps.
Yeah.
Don't care. Because you know what? I don't watch local Toronto independent wrestling. I watch WWE. Therefore, put WWE superstars on your WWE show, you dumb fucks.
That's it. Gillis suggested send them to SmackDown, let them go against the New Day.
Yeah. Use the wild card rule and watch them just decimate everyone.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, guess what? The Viking Raiders just showed up and obliterated SmackDown's tag team roster.
Hey, it's as
Guess what? They just went back to NXT for some reason and fucked up everyone at NXT.
It's in their name. They're the Raiders. Let them raid.
Let them pillage. Not rape and pillage. That'd be horrible. Let them pillage.
Yeah, just go for a bit of a cuddle and pillage.
Killer guys, I'm watching along with some friends on Twitch and I fucking lost it. I'll try to find the clip online, but I really lost the treatment of the Viking Raiders. Agreed. Send them to SmackDown, as we said.
Yep.
Absolute garbage.
All right, move on.
Next up, Women's Tag Team Championship. Because there's, it is on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They're actually appearing on TV. So they've already defended it twice. The Iconics defended it 3 times in their entire run. Yeah. So we're already on a plus side.
And I like this team.
Yeah,
they work well
Nikki
together.
Cross taking on the Kabuki Warriors. So that is Asuka and Kairi Sane.
I love Kairi Sane.
There's a championship match here on Raw.
Yeah.
So they did have a match on the kickoff show against the Iconics, which they won, as you mentioned in that show. So like they're already defending champions as well and good. I do think the Kabuki Warriors are a better competitor for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I don't think we've seen the end of it yet. But this is something they've been.
Well, they're all about the same height.
Shows for a while. Yeah, they are.
This is their full height, by the way, right here, and we're sitting down. So.
Yes, like there has been a lot of house shows setting up this. Obviously, we've not seen a lot on TV, so it can feel a little bit forced. But it's the potential there is great because, as we know, Asuka is great, and the commentators even mentioned that when she did come across, she was one of the fearsome women on the roster. She just decimated everyone.
Yeah, she had a long run without a loss as well, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
So, but in the end. The Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross did retain. They are still the Women's Tag Team Championships, championshipers. Cool. But it's not going off them anytime soon.
No, and if you want to make a feud out of this between the two teams that are well suited to each other, I'm always down to see a tiny Japanese pirate wrestler as well. I've just got, I don't know what it is. I love her shtick with the little boat wheel.
I just want to see her come out with a treasure chest with the belt inside it. Haven't you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
When she was NXT champion, she had it brought out in a treasure chest.
Pirate booty. Oh, that's fantastic.
Then finally, a match that I gave 0 fucks about: AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I care. I've already said how I feel about Seth Rollins and AJ. I can't find. There's no love there. I actually liked him back in his old days when he was a young babyface. No beard, short hair, basically he was wrestling Samoa Joe and doing a damn fine job of it back in his TNA days. But I don't know, he just seems like someone who he'd come up to you in a bar and just be overly enthusiastic, and eventually you just make an excuse to leave and hide from him. I don't know. I get that impression, and I don't think I'd like him.
Yeah, he looks like the fourth BG.
The fourth Hemsworth brother.
Yeah, the one that no one wants to masturbate to.
That's it.
But during this match, as expected, a lot of interruptions from the OC. The ref eventually kicks him out of he was like, "Get out of here, you bastards." They bust for a little bit longer. OC come out and just deck Seth Rollins.
Yep.
It's puss. Ref calls the bell. DQ win to Seth. During this kerfuffle, out comes Ricochet to help. Puss.
Could be setting up for something there.
Well, yeah, this is something. And then Braun Strowman comes in.
Yeah.
We've not seen Braun Strowman since...
he was shoved through the wall since then?
Oh, yeah. So, we saw that was Extreme Rules. We saw him in The Last Man Standing with Bobby Lashley. Right. We've not seen him since.
No.
So the crowd went bonkers.
He's another one who should have had a run at something by now.
Yeah, the problem is he has had heaps of runs, but apparently backstage stuff has fucked him up every time.
Oh, okay.
So just sort of some personal things kept getting in the way. A bit self-destructive that way. So during this whole kerfuffle, Braun comes in, just lays everybody down. Running powerbomb on AJ, fucks him up.
Yep.
Then he climbs out of the ring, goes and grabs the belt from the timekeeper, goes, holds it for a second, gives it to AJ, shakes his hand. So there's just two more people putting Seth over.
Because that's what he needs.
Because Braun is an awesome babyface. And I don't think they'll turn him anytime soon. I don't predict that. But they need to do something with him. Yeah, that isn't the random green Saudi belt.
There needs to be a face that you are genuinely interested in. And all of their faces are just really bland right now. Mm-hmm. They need... As much as, it might irritate people to say it, we need another Cena. We need someone who gets the crowd to pop and is a good guy. But he gets them excited. I don't mean another Cena, obviously, because, God, can you imagine if there was two of them. But we need someone like that. We need someone who can be the hero, not just the good guy. I mean, AJ, when he was face, was all right. Seth Rollins, not bad. We all know how much trouble that bloody Roman has had trying to get over. They were all faces, but they were all just wrestlers.
It's this weird line where, I'm just... Pardon me. It could be the state of the wrestling right now.
Maybe. I mean, there's no denying they've got skill.
I feel like heels have a better time.
Well, heels always have a better
time.
Heels better. And a lot of people say they prefer to be heels because they have more fun doing it, but... Stone Cold was a face. He went heel for a while, but was one of the best faces they've ever had. The Rock, one of the greatest faces they've ever had. Also had his turn as heel as well.
But that's where he popped when he turned heel.
No, he started off as heel right back in the Nation days, right back in the early days. He was a bad guy, and then obviously went face and then was face forevermore. But that's what I think. The WWE desperately needs someone now someone with that kind of pop, that kind of personality, that kind of ability to grab the crowd, not just get the crowd behind them, but to actually get the crowd, oh my God, I must see this particular person.
Yeah,
and they haven't got that.
This is a problem that they created themselves.
Yeah, true.
By focusing primarily on three people and everyone else can suck a dick is what they essentially how they've treated it. You look at the women's roster right now, as it's the easiest correlation, right? Mm-hmm. Coming into WrestleMania, they focused on simply Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda.
Yep.
No one else had any interesting storylines. So when Ronda left and Becky won, then what?
That's it. They know where to go.
They had no one set up for Becky because everyone else had been shown to be shit. So they bring in Lacey Evans, someone that wasn't ready, and put her into the main event picture ahead of anyone that actually deserved it.
And it didn't work. And they didn't help themselves with the whole she'd walk out to her music and then walk away again. They didn't. They clearly had no idea what to do with her.
And that's the problem that they're having here. I do think they've really focused on a very small select group of people, and that is the likes of Roman and Seth, and they're like, well, anybody else? Shit. Drew had a good run there for a while, and then they fumbled that.
Yep. Well, again, a lot of that I think is a legacy of the Vince days. He gets his favourites and he focuses on them, and
the wild card rule is literally not helping.
Well, it's not helping.
It's doubling down on the same 8 people that they want that they just decide.
Every time someone goes to the other show, there's someone on that show not getting airtime.
Exactly.
And that's what's killing them. One of the things that's killing them. So we can only hope that it may have been it's only been the early weeks now, but the Heyman Heyman's the only one we've been hearing about. We've heard nothing from friggin' Bischoff.
And the last, I don't know whether it was done this week, but the last couple of weeks, Vince McMahon rocks up on Tuesday and just rips apart the script and writes it on.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of saying that we're going to get Bischoff and Heyman in charge if they're not?
Well, Vince is not touching a Raw by the sounds at all.
Vince shouldn't be touching any of it. Yeah, it's time for Vince to stop touching. Bad touch, Vince.
Let us know what you thought of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. For a quick wrap up, we are an hour deep. A bit ranty today. But yeah, let us know what you think. I think this week's Raw was probably a Kurt. Right in the middle. 1 thumb. 1 out of 2.
Kurt. I'll give it a Kurt. I know the thumb technique, but they're still. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for it to
It's that situation where there was some good shit, but then it got ruined by the other bollocks. They just can't seem to leave, and it's frustrating. Next up, SmackDown. SmackDown is still in Toronto, of course. Kicks things off with Kevin Owens walking into the ring and just doing face stuff. Talking about how my family was here. My family was here to see me to take on Shane McMahon.
It was another anniversary. It was the 5-year anniversary.
It's my 5-year anniversary at WWE. Something. I felt good kicking Shane McMahon. I kicked him square in the pain.
He did.
And that's it. Then Shane enters and shows pictures of the dick kicking. And then he essentially accuses Kevin Owens of being a cheater.
Yeah.
Which I guess technically on paper he is.
He was. He kicked him in the dick. That's technically cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if anything, this is going to just extend this feud.
Well, that's not what we wanted out of this, but yeah.
Presumably, it's extending to other things. Now, one situation I did hear today was that maybe Kevin Owens could be in with a chance to win this, King of the Ring.
Yeah.
So, Shane's like, I'm the best in the world. He's like, yeah, but I'm the king of the ring.
Yeah, that could work. And then they have one last match just to put it to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as we don't have to see Shane every week leading up to it, I can get behind that. Because...
Dash just said holy shit and sent me something.
Uh-oh. Brace yourself. Hang on to things. I'm ready.
Oh, he just sends me a photo of the 4 controllers that I was talking about. Man, I'm going to buy the fuck out of that purple controller. I'm going to message people tomorrow. Be like, controller! Purple! Me! I'll jerk all the dick. And they also showed footage of Kevin Owens bussing Elias, who was technically an official during that match.
Yes, true.
And then for doing so, in order to protect the officials... punishment fine of $100K,
which is a fair amount of money. So yes, then it all flipped around to that might not be much for you, but it's my family's future, it's my livelihood, my kids going to college. So of course it's they're playing it as a real rich guy, poor guy angle at the moment. Which, let's be honest, that's what Shane should be.
Yeah, sorry, got excited. You got excited. Feel these nipples. Purple controller, I have one. It's down the room, but it's not. It's good. It's a custom purple.
That's your favorite kind.
It's one that the Tagmon's made for me. Then we get to an ad break. Comes back and Kevin just charges Shane's office.
Yep.
And Shane's like, whoa. I'm not in ring gear. You can't get involved with me. This is not where it's gonna go.
Yep.
If you hit me, I'm not just gonna fine you. I'm going to sue you. And you think $100,000 is bad? You wait till you see I take all the money from you. And he's like, and Kevin's like, fuck it, make it 105, and then just throws the stool at the TV that was nearest him, blows it apart. I'm like, and it's funny because you see Shane's like, ooh,
There was a moment when Shane just went, I want to hate you for that, but I like it.
I do wonder like if that was scripted or not, because I'm like, that's kind of fun. Like, that's brilliant. You see,
yeah, there was a moment where Shane almost broke character.
Yeah, it would have been and cut. Like, fuck you for saying 105. That was awesome. Like, I nearly died. Yeah, and then we got a Charlotte Flair versus Ember Moon match. We should mention no entrances, because the entrances took place during this
Shane
McMahon, Kevin Owens backstage thing.
They were just there, ready to go.
Don't know what's going on with that. Didn't care.
No.
Win went to Charlotte Flair with a figure 8. Cool. Then there was a collected who fucked up Roman Reigns package.
That was, that went on for a while.
And then that led into Daniel Bryan and Rowan entering the stadium, and there's been like, we did nothing wrong. Rowan did nothing wrong. Guy's like, you did it. He's like, I didn't do it. It's like, you did. It's like, no, did.
Pretty much. Yes, you did. Oh, no, we didn't.
And they're like, Buddy Murphy is a liar. He admitted to seeing Rowan under coercion.
Yes.
He had his in the neck. Rowan had him all up in the business. Like, he goes like, what would you say if you had Rowan up on your shit, huh? You would have said whatever he wanted you to say.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a valid point.
It is a valid point. So
and they essentially finished it in their own like, Hardy Boys.
Yes.
They're going to self-investigate.
It was Detective Pikachu starring Daniel Bryan and Rowan as...
It's the Bryan Boys.
The Bryan Boys. Oh, I like that too.
Oh, I've got a clue. Oh, I've got a raging clue. So they're going to go off. They've got their magnifying glasses and they're going to have a good old bit of fun time. Buddy cop movie back there.
That's it.
Then we get someone coming into, like, Shane's looking at his TV and being like, oh man, my TV. And some reporter comes in and goes like, hey, Shane, like, who's going to fight Kevin? And what I wished he said was like, who gives a fuck? Look who did to my TV. No, but he's like, you know what? Someone's going to have to kick his butt. And then it zooms out. Samoa Joe's there. Samoa Joe's like, I'll kick his butt. And he's like, okay, cool. Samoa Joe's going to kick his butt.
Samoa Joe in his role as Rent-A-Thug.
And then Aleister Black sitting there in the room talking in his sentences. He wants to pick a fight with
a door.
Someone needs to come and open the door. I've been in here for days. I don't know how to get out of this room.
Well, why won't you help me?
You think I'm being mysterious. I just can't get out.
Conserving oxygen.
Like, yeah, I'm not being goth-like. I am dying.
Tell my mother I love her.
Tell Zelina hello. But as I said during that little SmackDown watch-along, what? Dash just says Betson, stop, please. No, it's kind of fun. It's fun for me. It doesn't even sound like Aleister Black, but it's fun for me. Because, as I said earlier in a little SmackDown pre-watch long that we sometimes do, that I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just reading Tumblr. Like, it's just that same like emo-y delivery, and it's rad. And then both you and I speculated that maybe he'll just fight the door one day. And then Killer jumps in and goes, Aleister Black can have a match against the door, and it would still be 4 stars.
It would.
4 out of 5 stars. Dave Meltzer would poop his pants because Aleister Black beat the door.
Dash gives that a Baron Corbin.
Well, that is a little bit Baron Corbin. Yeah. I'm not very good at impersonations, all right? I better do my own voice well. So he talks something about a debt and wanting to fight doors and shit, so I don't know what happened there. Next, Roman Reigns. A thumb in the bum. Ooh.
Nice.
That's going to that'll make my voice change. Roman Reigns versus Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, Buddy stepped up in this one.
So this is technically Buddy Murphy's SmackDown debut. So although he was assigned to SmackDown in the Superstar Shake-Up, and he has made the occasional appearance here and there, he's yet to actually have a wrestling match.
That's it.
And this is it. And it's against Roman Reigns, against the big dog. And he fucking held his own.
He did.
The match was awesome.
A lot of knees to the face.
A lot of those cool Muay Thai knees.
And a lot of 1-2 kickouts.
Yeah, and so what I really enjoyed about it, so aside from him beating Roman's ass, like they actually had moments where he almost got the pin.
There was a couple of moments where I thought, is he actually going to get the win?
There's almost like, not 2.8s or nothing, but like a good... Not Buddy Watson. Did I say Buddy Murphy again? Or did I say Buddy Watson again?
You might have said Watson.
I probably did, because it was Buddy Murphy.
Yeah,
not Buddy Watson.
I might have joined in as well. Your name's Buddy anyway.
I get confused. I get so confused.
Aussie
Buddy
Buddy.
does a vicious knee though. Kenny Omega ain't got shit on Buddy. Oh, that's hard talk. Yeah, so there was this great little moment where it was Buddy had Roman by the hands. Goes in for the knee, pulls him back in, second knee, drops him, grabs him, pulls him up in the air, drops him on a neck breaker.
I actually, for a second there, I thought, hang on, he's going to get this.
Like, this is where I'm like, this is where
that was the point I thought.
And that's where he got like the 2.5. And wasn't too shabby. But it did eventually end with Buddy Murphy getting a spear, because, this is after, dodging like Superman punches and shit.
But a nice moment at the end where they've stopped and Roman's leaning against the ropes and he looks over and he just nods. Gives him a little nod.
Yeah.
So I thought, that's again what they should be doing, giving the young guys the push by the
So
current
although he
guard.
took the loss, it was a good match.
It was a solid match, and you think this Buddy Watson has got some. He's worth watching. We might get his name right.
So the big thing. What's that? Dash goes, I know Buddy Watson. He's not that agile. Can't write 100 words to save his life. Because the big thing when Buddy Murphy was in 205 Live, he was referred to as the best kept secret. Because obviously no one watched 205, no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
So he's the best kept secret. He's just got it hidden off to the side and doing awesome work.
Yeah. I just want to hear an Aussie accent there that isn't the Iconics. I like the Iconics, I do, but it's the character they've picked is very screechy, and there's a lot of cringe.
I love it. No complaints.
I know you love the Iconics.
Next up, I just wrote Samoa Joe versus Samoa Joe because I'm a fucking moron. Samoa Joe versus Kevin Owens.
Yes.
With Elias as guest ref, even though he was given the night off by Shane McMahon. Interesting. Though he wasn't, he was referred to as Mrs. Alexa Bliss. I would very happily be Mr. Alexa Bliss.
As days go, as jobs go.
Yeah, like if you were given a title, bring down with that title. Just saying. So the match was fine. We kind of skipped through it because we just didn't care. So Elias eventually pulls the ref out, allowing for a sneaky roll up, and Joe gets the win on Kevin. There it is.
That's it.
Next up, we get Brian and Rowan in the back room, in almost a repeat of what Roman did. It's like, everybody out, except you, buddy. And they're like, hey, can you tell everyone that you lied? And he was like, yeah, no, mate.
Yeah, no.
Not happening. And Brian was like, what does that mean, buddy? And he's like, yeah, no. He's like, I don't know what that means.
Yes, but no.
I am a married spud. I am. I'm sure my wife totally thinks about being married to other people. Like, I can only guarantee it. Like, I'm not the best pick.
You're totally picturing your wife in Alexa Bliss now, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying that. I imagine my wife goes, you know who's better than Ryan? Most people. And we've been together for like 8 years at this point. Like, she's seen all my tricks. Like, if anything, I've declined in health. Like, I'm not doing well. She's doing fine. She looks the best she's ever been. She looks fantastic. She is fantastic. She's an exceptional mother. She's amazing. I'm, on the other hand, am a dumpster fire.
Literally.
This is a man who spent the whole last show lying on the ground, dying, because my boob hurt.
In his defense, his boob did hurt.
It was very painful. It's still very painful. So in this, like, there's the same friend who's like, tell everyone you lied. And he's like, nah, look. He just kind of goes, I ain't doing shit. And then they kind of boost him around a little bit. And then the same fashion, Rowan, just flip that shit around, puts him against the wall. He's like, tell him you lied. He's like, yeah, I fucking lied, mate. All right, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Whatever. So then, that happens. Next up, we get... Wait, what the fuck does that say? Then we get Roman hunting down Brian and Rowan. New Day versus the Revival. Which thing. New Day comes in. And they're like, all right, the Revival, come to the party. Next thing, I hear voices in my head. They say that I am Randy Orton. My name's Randy.
They are correct.
Everybody, Randy. So the song
seriously, you should be a lyricist.
The song was accurate. Randy did come in.
He did.
The song was incorrect. Outcome fucking someone else. Yeah, so Randy did come out. As he does. And he was like, oh, you piece of shit. You know, you didn't win, even though you laid me out after the bell. Something. I'm going to join the Revival. We're going to have a 3-on-3.
You join them. Everyone to fight everyone.
Yeah, everyone fight everyone. And they're like, okay. It happened. Yeah.
That's exactly
how the theme goes, says Dash. I have... One of those, what do they refer to? The eidetic memories. When I retell a story or I tell you a memory, there's no embellishment. None of it's made up. That's exactly how it happens. Now, I may live in a different world, but that's exactly how it happens in my world.
No, it's true. He truly believes that's exactly what happened.
I'm so tired. So they have a bus. That was fine. Randy just fucking wrecks everyone. As we stopped fast forwarding, we noticed him RKO both Xavier Woods, then Kofi. Kofi landed just directly on his head.
Yeah, he definitely sold that one on Kofi. That was beautiful.
So Randy just lays everybody out. Mm-hmm. There it is. And then finally we get Daniel and Rowan sitting in the change room that they just wrecked the park, being like, you know what? We really did get the truth out of Buddy Murphy. He's like, yeah, we did. We didn't coerce him. We just kicked the shit out of him. Like, yeah. And Roman comes in and is like, hey, I heard you kick the shit out of him. They didn't exchange any words at all. You know, they're like, hey, whatever. You know, they don't touch me, don't punch in. Because you know why? Because we know who did it. But we won't tell you until next week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. In real life, no one talks like that. Roman would be like, who the fuck is it? Like,
yeah.
No real investigator goes, you'll find out next week. No, you arrest them now, you prick.
Unless your investigator's paid by the hour.
That's true. Very true. And that brings us to the end of SmackDown. Now, granted, we didn't pay full attention to it, so we spent 40 minutes on Raw, 15 minutes on SmackDown, because it was fine. So I think it's very unfair of us to give SmackDown a rating this week because we barely watched it. We kind of just picked the highlights and went from there.
Well, let's just give it a Kurt Angle lying down.
That's a bar.
Sorry?
That's the bar.
Oh, that is the bar. And that's just sad. Oh.
That's a Mark Henry.
Oh.
No, you see Mark Henry when he walks out in his red onesie. You see his little thumb poking through. Now, granted, because he's a giant human, it might just be like this. But I'm pretty sure it's a little thumb.
It's probably coiled around him a couple of times.
Yeah. Good old Mark Henry. But let us know what you think of SmackDown. I guarantee you it did not happen like I said it did. So that's fun for me. Maybe not for you. But the one thing we do before we wrap up the show is we reach out to a good friend of mine. His name is Dash.
Yep.
He has his ears to the ground. The ground rumbles and says, wrestling things. And he's like, oh, hello, wrestling things. And then he gathers all the best information that he hears on the interwebs about the WWE and then puts them into a Word document, sends it to me, and I go, and I read it.
In case you're wondering how the old information exchange works, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So first thing he says in the Dish in the Dirt with the Dirt Sheet, Dash! What? He says, on a personal note, Bray Wyatt's entrance is greater than SummerSlam. He's greater than symbol. And then he goes, greater than AEW, greater than NXT, greater than pro wrestling. Holy fuck.
Big call. It was good. Don't get me
wrong.
Dude,
you're talking to Dash. Solid. Dash is one of the most negative people about WWE ever. Enough for me to be like, Dash, can you stop being so negative about the WWE? If you don't like it, just don't watch it, Dash. Look, so I'm kind of projecting. I never did that. There's some other people on Twitter that I've seen do that and be like, then just don't fucking watch it. You understand, by you talking about your disdain for WWE, that's giving it energy. If you want, put that energy in something productive. Like, fuck. Come on. Just watch what you want to watch. If you want to watch Japan, then totally fucking watch Japan. You're not better for it. You're just a prick. Not you, Dash. I love you, Dash.
I suspect there's some other forces at play here. You'll be good? You got that out?
Yeah, I feel better. Most of it. 1, 2,
All right,
3, 4 bits of news this week in the Dash Sheet.
Bring it.
Dash Sheet. Number 1. ProWrestlingSheet.com is reporting that Roman Reigns has signed a new contract with the WWE. While the exact length is unknown, the belief is that the contract will keep Reigns in WWE for at least a few more years. Now, standard practice on contracts recently with WWE has been 5 years.
Yep.
Saying that, though, I don't see Roman Reigns going anywhere else.
I think he's comfortable where he is.
He is a big company man. I think he's not going to go anywhere.
He's on the cover of the game.
That's it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Look at it.
You don't want to be selling a game next year with him somewhere.
Besson does not talk like this. I don't know what's going on about. I forget what I was talking about now. So do you think that's easy?
Yeah, that's a given.
It's a given. Nothing too dirty there. Number 2. Mike Johnson of PW Insider Elite.com noted the following regarding Sasha Banks' return to WWE. Quote, you got to give WWE credit for this. I asked 1,000,000 times. No workers I spoke to saw her. Nobody from behind the scenes that I spoke to saw her. No one from the creative team I spoke to had any inclination she was coming back, and that they admitted to me. So that just means she wore a different wig. Yeah. Everyone was just fucking disguised. It was a Superman thing. She had one wig on, and everyone's like, who's that? She took it off, and I was like, oh my God, it's Sasha Banks.
It's a concern that the creative team didn't know she was coming. The team what is meant to be the one that does the stories. You think they would know.
It'd be pretty big leaky news.
Yeah, but you think someone would have written the story for her to come back. Surely it wasn't just Vince again. Of course it was Vince.
It was a Heyman decision, I imagine.
Yeah, maybe.
Number 3. Ryan Saturn of ProWrestlingSheet.com has noted the following regarding Bray Wyatt's absence from Raw and SmackDown Live this week. Quote, from what I've heard, Bray Wyatt wasn't shown on WWE TV this week to follow up on, quote, The Fiend debuting at SummerSlam because they want his character to be special.
Yes.
And for it to feel like you'll never know when he's going to strike next. And that is totally perfect.
Which is what we were saying before.
It's one of those things, like, if they want to be like, I couldn't come last week because the Fiend took literally everything out of me. Like, he's draining, he's huge, I feel guilty because one of the big things he's doing right now is apologizing to a ton of people on Twitter. So he's like, I felt guilty that the Fiend kicked the shit out of Finn Balor. Like, I couldn't be here. Like, there's that story, and it's like, it's one of those things. If you sprinkle that shit, it makes it way more exciting. It's like every time I hear about the demon, I'm like, fuck yeah, the demon.
Yeah,
get excited.
That's why he works, because they only bring him out at occasional pay-per-views, and that makes sense.
Do you think it's a smart move?
I do, especially if they play it right. If they're willing at this stage in the reboot to look at the long game already, then I'm down.
Yeah.
If they're willing to let something have a slow burn and let it build and then culminate. I mean, they used to have year-long story arcs. What happened to them? We do have an attention span. Although one thing I will just quickly chuck in here. Did you notice that we didn't get so many repeats on SmackDown of last night's Raw? They used to just bombard us
with
video packages.
We also fast-forwarded a lot of that show.
We did, but I haven't been seeing them the last couple of weeks. They seem to have dialed back, and that's a good sign. But you've got to treat your audience with a little respect.
Because they just have the same wrestlers over. It feels like the same show. Like, why highlight what you literally saw the night before?
But they have been. That's the thing. They've been rehashing.
So adding on to what we said about Sasha Banks, Dash Jads in and goes, hey, Sasha has new hair. Great. Doesn't excuse the fact that she bitched out and had a cry for 4 months. That's true. She totally did. I do wonder what the agreement was of her coming back. Side note.
Dye her hair, apparently.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. And finally, WWE published a video of Bray Wyatt's entrance from the SummerSlam, but then pulled the video, and Reddit user an Eternal Enigma noted the following about the video being pulled. Quote, WWE pulled the full Bray Wyatt entrance from their YouTube and replaced it with a 50-second version with all the shots of the lantern removed.
Really?
Regarding WWE pulling the YouTube footage of Bray Wyatt's severed head lantern from SummerSlam, Brian Alvarez of Figure 4 Wrestling Online on the Wrestling Observer Radio noted the following. All I can tell you is that I've asked several people about this and nobody heard anything about the lantern not being part of the act. In fact, one person told me, I guess it's going to be part of like his whatever you call it action figure or whatever they're producing these lanterns. Pardon me. So anyway, I think everyone's reading too much into this. But I mean, we'll know soon enough. If he shows up again with no head lantern, we'll know. But I won't be writing it off yet. Because I heard something similar.
Maybe they had some complaints.
Is that he, like, yeah, the Mattel action figures, I presume the Elite figures, are going to have the lantern in the box.
Okay.
So it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Jim's just pointed out that an Eternal Enigma is actually a streamer on Twitch. I watch him myself, actually. I'm a follower of his. He likes
seems like a weird dude to bust out this knowledge.
He loves his wrestling. He loves his baseball. He's playing some Major League Baseball as well. And he also speed runs Silent Hill and games like that.
Oh, sweet.
So he has some talent, some amazing hair.
Weird hair.
Yes, so he is an very interesting streamer.
But yeah, so the thing about that is it's unnerving to look at. It's like, but saying that it's not that, like, it's certainly pushing PG, but it's still PG.
It wasn't like didn't look like an actual severed head.
It wasn't bloody. It wasn't gory. It was just macabre.
Yeah, it was
like
macabre.
If you go to like Dracula's or something, it looks exactly like that. It looks like something you would find on a ghost ride.
You know it's not an actual person, but it looks weird enough that macabre is the right description.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrifying, it wasn't scary, but it was creepy. Confronting, yeah, good word. Badass, as Jem would say.
It was badass. It was awesome. If I could, I would buy a replica of that thing.
If you could, you will when it comes out. Yeah, and it'll sit right about there.
Yeah, Millie wouldn't let me buy that. You shitting me?
Yeah, probably not. But either way, it'll be interesting. An interesting decision, especially if they're going to include it in the action figure. Why pull it from the video?
Exactly. Well, because saying that, like, let me check the YouTube channel, because I'm positive I watched the entrance today at work, because I'm that guy.
You are that guy. He is that guy, in case you were wondering.
Just because I wanted to hear the music again.
But it was a long intro, but they did it well. They paced it well, I think.
I did. Scrolling.
Keep scrolling and scrolling. Bets and we'll buy it, says Dash.
I know it. I'm shameless. They have replaced it with the 56-second version.
There you go.
Damn. Let me look at my history. I'm positive I watched the long version. But if it's been pulled, then I won't show.
No denying this is a riveting part of the stream.
Yeah, no, it's literally gone.
There you go.
Interesting. That's a shame. It's a damn shame.
I guess we'll find out.
Speaking of damn shames, maybe not, we're at the end of the show. That brings us to the end of this week's episode of Young and the Restless. Thank you so much, Craig.
My pleasure.
For filling in for Jem as she is off sick and now eating McDonald's, I presume. If not, finish the McDonald's.
I'd say finished by now. I can't replace Jem, but I can certainly temporarily fill the gap that has been left.
Yeah. But she will be back next week in all her healthy glory, and I will be very, very happy to have her back.
Because I suck.
Jem. No, just Jem's cool.
She's cool.
She's very cool. But you can listen to it. But when she does come back, you can listen to us live every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on Yo's podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. And if you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/thepopculturist, Discord, Twitters. All the links are in the description below. If you want to join that wrestling conversation as it happens live, head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/thepopculturist. You can support us at any dollar value, and you can watch us do this show live. Yeah, nice little sneaky YouTube link. You come, join the party, you chat with the likes of Dash. You can hear breaking wrestling news, like PlayStation has released 4 new colored controllers. Breaking wrestling news right there. Breaking. What else? Oh yeah, but if you want to support us in a more one-off fashion, head over to thepopculturist.com/shopping, buy shirts like this and other assorted shit with our logos on it. And we are on Twitch, twitch.tv/thepopculturist. And I think that is everything.
I think you've covered it.
I think we pretty nailed it. And until the next one, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm the Mullet.
And we'll see you then.